Hi, this is Kathie from Craft with Kathie. Thanks for joining me this evening. I'm coming at you from the suburbs of Chicago. Why don't you please take a moment, say hello, let me know where you're viewing from. Tonight's project is going to be using some wood house cutouts, some nice heavy-duty shelf sitters, and a transfer called Love Brings Us Home. I've waxed the wood cutout already with finishing wax. I just rubbed it on and rubbed it off. I didn't bother to let it dry. And that's just to ensure that I have a nice smooth surface, so that when I put the transfer on, there's no chance of any wood or splinters or anything peeling up with it. Our transfers are adhesive backed, and this is basically a way to protect them from a wood surface. This transfer will be used with our Storm chalk paste for the lettering, and then Marvelous for the heart and the little house symbol. And I'm using a little packet of gray Storm paste because somewhere along the line I've misplaced my jar of paste. I've stirred up my Marvelous, and it's a little bit thick consistency, so I've added a spritz of distilled water to thin it down. If your paste is too thick, you could always use distilled water, and you want to use distilled water just in case your water has any impurities. And you want it to get to be the thickness of sour cream or yogurt. Now I'm writing the name of the transfer on the back so I could identify the individual pieces once I cut it apart and know what part of the white backing goes to the actual sticky transfer. This is a smaller transfer around the size of 5 by 7. And you can see that there's actually cut marks on the transfer, so that if I wish to, I can cut it into individual pieces before applying it. So I'm just cutting across the cut lines. Our transfers are made of vinyl and silkscreen, the teal being the vinyl, the clear, or what appears to be white with the backer, being the silkscreen. And I will apply chalk paste to the transfer once I've applied it to the surface, and use a squeegee to squeeze that chalk paste through the silkscreen portion of the transfer onto the surface. So before I could actually apply this to my surface, I want to, because the back is adhesive, I want to do what's called fuzzing, and I'm going to use our little fuzzing towel to do that. Get this out of the way a bit. And the idea behind fuzzing is you deliberately apply lint to the back of the surface so that the transfer doesn't stick quite as snugly. Now, as I'm using wood, I want it to be fairly snug, so I don't want to apply a lot of fuzz to it. Our transfers can be used on wood, metal, glass, chalkboards, dry erase boards, galvanized metal, mirror, pretty much any flat surface. I've seen some people recently chalking their dishwashers, which I think is pretty cool. And you could actually even do your walls. Our chalk goes on liquid but dries hard. This is the adhesive sign. You can see it's shiny, it's very sticky. And I just want to smooth the transfer out to make sure that there aren't any air bubbles or anything like that in it. And this feels pretty good. I also want to eyeball it. If there was a little bubble or a little wrinkle in the transfer, obviously when you press the chalk paste through the silk screen, it wouldn't go through evenly. So that's why you always want to check and make sure that it is on nice and snugly. I've misplaced my jar of Storm or gray paste, so instead of the jar I'm going to use one of these little individual packets. These are the individual size packets that come in our monthly club Couture subscription. And I'm going to show you how you can get the most out of the packets and how to be a little bit frugal with it. So, the paste packets have a little tear thing where you could tear it up at the top where the color is, but I'm not going to open it there. I'm going to massage it a little bit to make sure it's nice and mixed up, kind of similar to what I would be doing stirring here. And then I'm going to start from the bottom and push it down just a little bit. I'm going to open this from the bottom so that when I store my remaining paste that's left over after this project, I will still have the gray part or the storm colored thing on the packaging so that I could quickly know what color it is. Whereas if I ripped it off here, most of that would be gone when I rolled it back up. Oops. And I'm going to need a little stir stick to go in there and scoop up my paste. It's the easiest way, and there is my little squeegee. I've got a few stir sticks here that need to be cleaned up from a previous project. Let me put them in my little water bath and get them out of the way. Oops. So I've squeezed the chalk paste down a little bit. I'm going to cut off the bottom. And then open up my little pack. And just scoop out what I need. If there's any left over, of course, well, there will definitely be a lot left over of this. I could put it back in the paste bucket, but the idea is to show you how easy it is to, if you are careful with your paste packet, to get a lot of use out of just one tiny little packet. So I'm just wiping this across my silk screen, covering all my letters except the O. And now that I've almost got it all covered, I'm going to smooth it out and remove any excess paste. And I could put this paste back in my packet.
I don't hear it.
Obviously, I'm trying not to get paste on my fingers here. Okay. Let's see. Put the paste in there, wipe it off a little bit. Oops, I just pulled some more out. You have to be a little bit careful with that. Get that last little scoop in there. Okay, and I actually missed a little bit here. Let me clean this up a little bit more and get rid of this line. Okay, now I'm going to squeeze, oops, I have some coming out the top here. Not what I wanted. Okay, I want to squeeze the paste down in the packet so that there's no paste near my cut top. And you can see there's quite a bit left in there. And then I'm going to use our placement tape, which is kind of like a washi tape. looking for my paper towel here. I need to get the chalk off my fingers. Okay, so I'm going to take this paste packet and roll the top down as tightly as I can. Just a couple folds. And then, oops, it unrolled. Okay, I'll do that again. I'm going to take some of my placement tape. Placement tape is just like washi tape. It's great for holding our transfers in place, or actually putting it over an area that you do not want to chalk. And then I'm just placing the tape on it, around it, to hold it in place for when I store it. This way it'll stay nice and sealed and fresh even for months. So you can see that a little bit of one little packet can actually go a long way. Okay, let me peel this transfer off. I don't want to peel it from the side. I could lift it, but never peel from the sides from the diagonal, because it could stretch your transfer. So I gained purchase here, and I'm just pulling it off, whoops, from the side. So there we go. Let me move this to my water bath for cleaning. And let's take a look at how my marvelous paste is. This is looking pretty nice, the right consistency. And I want to use this, I should actually make sure that this is dried. I think it's almost dry by now, and decide what I want to do with this. I think I want to put this in place of the O, and then put my little house with the heart up at the top. So before I do that, I need to, of course, fuzz my transfer again, the little pieces. I've gotten a little storm paste on the top of that, but that's fine. It's not anywhere near the silk screen, so it won't interfere with anything. Okay, now let me position this. A little crooked there. That looks better. Tiny little adjustment here. Let's get that laying flat. Okay. Maybe I'll do them one by one. Okay, so just like before, got my paste, put it on my silk screen, take a brush squeegee, smooth it through the transfer, through the silk screen, and remove any excess. I'm going to put this in a little water bath real close by so I can show you how to clean the transfers. And then I think I'm going to wait a second until that dries at the top. Should have probably done the other one first. Oops. This lifted off my fuzzing cloth. Okay, so let me rinse the chalk paste off this little transfer and show you how we clean them. I have a tiny little water bath right here on my table, and I've just rinsed it off a little bit. Most of the chalk paste is off of it. And now I'm going to take a Clorox wipe the excess chalk paste off of the top. It's not sticking to my surface because it was wet, so there's a little bit of moisture underneath it. I'm going to flip it over, and now I'm going to gently clean the back. And as I do this, first I remove any chalk paste, and then I gently remove any lint that was put on with the fuzzing towel or the fuzzing cloth. And by removing the lint, it's going to rejuvenate the adhesive on the back of the transfer. Now that this is clean, I could put it somewhere. Cooling racks are great for this. I could put it somewhere to dry, and then when it's dry, I'll just put it right back on its backer. Now this is almost dry. You can actually see how the chalk paste changes from liquid to hard. As it's drying, it'll lose a little bit of its shine and become a little bit duller. So I'm going to position the striped heart between the L and the V, and then apply it to my surface. And this is taking a little bit of adjusting here. I think that looks just about right. And I want to smooth it out. Make sure there's, make sure there's no air bubbles. Now my transfer's stuck together, and you want to be very careful never to have the adhesive sides touch or stick together. If that happens, you want to gently nudge it apart or run it under cool water to gently nudge it apart. You never want to pull or tug on it because you can inadvertently pull or stretch the transfer and distort it. I'm smoothing it down. There, that looks like it's about right. So here we go again. Little dab of chalk paste. Use my squeegee. Pull it through the silk screen. Smooth it. Remove any excess. Return it to the jar. And lift the transfer. Oh, yeah, I actually smudged this. Now, our wooden surfaces are one use only, but I think that I could probably erase this if I work quickly and redo it. I smudged it when I was positioning it, so let me just try wiping it off. It actually turned out very, very nice. Easy peasy there, huh? Okay. And this isn't quite dry, I don't think, enough yet. Let me speed it up. Our fuzzing towel has two surfaces. One is the terry cloth side that is more like, it's terry cloth, and the other side is a microfiber. And one of the ways to speed drying is to put our sticky side down, the adhesive side down on the microfiber, and gently kind of push any moisture out of it. Well, this also happens to improve the adhesiveness of our stickers, because over time they will lose the adhesiveness or the stickiness. Our transfers are good generally for 8 to 12 uses or more with proper care. Okay, so let me put this back on the top. A little speed drying there, right? And I want to make sure there's no air bubble in here. And let's chalk it again. You can see how easy it is to recover from a mistake or a little flub when you're chalking. It's really not too difficult at all. And you can see how quick and easy this project is. I actually have this project as part of a bundle that's available in my VIP group. If you'd like information, just comment below and I'd be happy to send you any information. Oh, look at how cute. Okay. So how's that for a cute, quick little project? What do you think? Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Stay safe. I hope this was a nice little break from everything that's going on today for you. Stay safe and have a wonderful life.